Hey, MadLab Nation, how you doing? Greg Mack, Rainmaker podcast. Hope you had a great weekend. Monday, got to get the week going. Maybe your week's already going. Start on Saturday or Sunday. I know I had a long week. Instructor meetings, teaching all weekend. Back in the office Monday to keep on going. So we got to go, right? We got goals and objectives. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Rainmaker 301 program and the process that we've put in place here at MadLab to help your group of owners, coaches, and utility coaches become a team. And you've heard on previous podcasts me reference this particular program. And I want to talk a little bit about leadership this podcast. You know, it's an important subject. I've heard often industries of a variety of types have said that there's a significant lack of leadership in their industries, and why is this so important? I know there are colleges and postgraduate programs that do nothing but focus on training people to become leaders and assume the mantle of leadership. And I don't think any of us are really immune to leading in some way in our lives, whether it be at work or leading a Group X class or leading a individual personal training session or leading your family. Leadership's an important thing. And in the context of Rainmaker 301, we're talking about leadership in terms of your gym, your fitness center. And there's a quote here in the Rainmaker 301 program I wanted to share with you from Warren Bennis. And he says that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. And so leadership starts in the mind, doesn't it? It starts with imagination. It starts with a picture of the future, of what you'd like to see happen or some change you'd like to see occur in whatever sphere of influence you find yourself in. And so this idea of being a visionary is important in terms of leadership. But that conversion of vision into reality is just the grinding daily work part of leadership, where it's not so romantic and fun because, you know, teams with sound leadership need structure. And often groups that are not built with strong leadership and strong vision don't have structure. And folks start to just kind of move around rather unproductively. And some, if not most, everybody in the group starts to feel like they're wasting their time. And so managing structure becomes an important thing for leaderships to help happen. And we're not talking about militaristic type structure where there's super rigidity, but we're talking about a rough structure with some constraints, but still allow the individuals within the team to do what they got to do based on their strengths and their role responsibilities. And so it's this power to mobilize others, to not just set constraints and maintain the boundaries, because without them, you'll get off track and start rowing your boat in directions you don't need to go. And we've talked previously, and we'll talk more a little bit about the task statement for the team. It's probably the most important thing when you choose to do the Rainmaker 301 program for your gym. That will be the output of this process, is that you'll have a clear, compelling, motivating task statement that describes the ultimate goal and the behavioral construct that's going to be converging for everybody within the creativity and imagination of the vision, so that there's an ultimate metric that you know what you're working for, right? And we've said before, and I'll repeat it again, that the team task ultimately is the boss. Everybody is accountable to the team task and the team task statement. And that if you cannot connect professional behaviors and role responsibilities to how they connect to the achievement of the task statement, you should not be doing it, should not be done. And so the team leader has to hold people accountable and keep folks reeled in under some of these constraints. And you know, the team leader in decision making science, it's called framing. It's the most important part of decision making. And even art consists of limitation, right? Sometimes the most beautiful part of every picture is the frame, and the frame helps to define what is the actual picture, and it is a limited perspective and view. And so leaders help set vision, frame the structure, and provide mobilization and encourage mobilization of individual talents and strengths within constraints set by the vision and frame in the task statement to get these things done, right? So the team leader eventually is not just a direction setter, but a manager of boundaries and coordinating and prioritizing what's going on. They're a coach, obviously, and a mentor, and facilitate team thinking and resolving conflict, which can be the most challenging part, because when you get more than one person in a room doing anything, you got the potential for conflict and different viewpoints and perspectives, which are important, but can also be a source of frustration and discord, as different personalities, different maturity levels, different academic backgrounds, different points along the life continuum create some conflict in the team, which can be useful and healthy if managed properly. And it's a difficult thing. I know in my own history as a leader in my industry and in my businesses, I've run into some significant problems that I didn't manage so well, some that I managed pretty good, right? And so that's the hard job for the leader, is ultimately, as the cliche as it sounds, the buck has to stop with somebody, and the leader's the place where that's going to be the case as we try to transition away from that old leadership paradigm, that kind of militaristic paradigm of directing and telling and auditing and controlling and making all the decisions and micromanaging everything, to leadership style that is more stewardship based, that's servancy based, that is questioning and Socratic in its style, and has a coaching and teaching perspective and behavioral construct that it facilitates and negotiates within the constraints of the team task statement and the vision of the company. And so the mindset, the value and philosophy, if you will, of an effective team leader has to be about clarity of vision and task, and that teams understand that their task and their leader is got to be specified and focused. They understand and try to tap into the collective brilliance of the team. Everybody brings something unique and special in knowledge and perspective and experience to the table that may be used at different points in time, and that's tough for team members sometimes to kind of wait their turn or wait to the point where their particular unique knowledge and experience and expertise can suddenly be brought to the forefront and used at a particular point in time and need in the process. Team leaders have a mindset that leadership and power is not to be centralized and lorded over others in a dictatorial capacity, but that leadership power and authority is to be delegated and released and shared, and that everyone has to be on a learning and experience track all of the time. And so leadership is about managing volunteers. Even if you have a structure where you're paying people as an employee or W-2 or 1099, however you have that constructed, there still ultimately is a voluntariness, if you will, to the process, because people can quit whenever they want. They don't have to come to work. They don't have to do everything you say. And so it becomes important that volunteers accept leadership, because they won't follow if they don't accept the leadership in order to get past groupthink and move towards the exceptional levels that we're trying to capture in this process. And so balancing what's volunteered by the team members individually against what is expected is the key. And if people only do the minimum, what's expected, you don't have a team anymore. You have a group. You've got someone who's kind of decided to pull their oar out of the water, or they'll just stroke every now and then, but they're not going to do anything extra, especially when it gets tough. Those folks tend to step off to the side and make excuses and blame and accuse and do all kinds of terrible things that leaders should never do. When things don't go well, because things aren't always going to go well, and even the best of intentions, someone might take the wrong way, and this is unfortunate but true. And so trying to capture synergy in the collective IQ of the team members is more about resourcefulness, not so much resources, because if you can't use effectively what you already have, how could adding a whole bunch more stuff help you? It probably will not. It will probably confuse you. And resourcefulness is a volunteered commodity for teamwork. And so team members, right, they make commitments in their volunteerness. They accept task leadership, and they use whatever resources they have to get things done when they get done, as imperfect sometimes as that might happen. So this circular process of accepting and empowering leadership from the team members to the team members serving and coordinating and delegating back to the volunteerism of the team members. This is what we're talking about in order to create an interdependence, an interaction, and intercooperation that really gets things moving in a powerful direction. And so channeling efforts with some boundaries and being okay with saying no, and team members accepting the no is got to happen, as tough as that can be as we go. And so ending with a quote from Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Have a great week. Hopefully you can move a little closer every day towards getting what you want from your gym, what you want for your professional career, what you want for your life. Go get it.